Hello, guys, and welcome back to Spoken Essays. I'm Harshal Vora, and you are watching the one and only. Excuse me, yeah, the one and only. The test where we finish a project and we go through a project, to achieve our certificate. Without wasting more time, let us begin. So, as you can see here, my screen is completely blank. I'll have to open my Chrome tab. Sorry about that. Okay, so many clicks. I can just click it all away. Okay, and we go here. Very good. That's good. Alright, what? freeCodeCamp.org. Very good. Get started, it is free. Yes. Okay, we will continue from where we left off, which is not this. I have to press Command Shift T. This is not viewers what we are looking for actually. This is what we were looking for. Okay. And yeah, okay. Let's zoom back in. Drag and drop your files, code controls, get assist, asset hosting, whatever that is. I mean, I know what it is, but okay. You can see the letter C here. Right. Let me just load all these pages. Nicely done. Okay, and I'll untangle my earbuds. They get tangled despite the fact that I don't even touch them after using them. Must be some unspoken rule. Interesting. I cannot hear my sound at all. Okay, is that hello? Okay, so that's happening. Okay, much better. Now we are connected to the mic, and you guys can also grab in. Okay. Yo. Woo. Okay. So हम क्या कर रहे हैं? JS Babel. We're going to play with this, aren't we? We need to find a way to print a sentence. You know what? I wanted to print. Okay, so basically we have this URL. This URL stores this data, right? You can see the data. That's a lot of quotes, at least. Yeah, that's a lot of quotes. So the thing we want to do is I want to store this in a variable called quotes. But unfortunately we can't, we were not able to, because in the console there seemed to be some or the other error. If I zoom this, it should be much better. Okay. Okay. Clear, whatever. Okay. So if I uncomment this, says first thing happened is it returns an uncaught error, cannot read properties of undefined reading quote. So somewhere in here is an undefined reading quote, which is this. So it doesn't know what a quote is. So I think I need to understand what this then function does. Basically it takes a callback function, but is it like map? We have to read about that, don't we? Okay, so I'm going to open then function promise.prototype. Why we use the then method? Why use then method? It's defined in the promise API. Zoom in, yes, much better. Okay, so the then method of promise instances takes up two arguments, callback functions for the fulfilled and rejected cases of the promise. It immediately returns an equivalent promise object, allowing you to chain calls to other promise methods. Okay, I do not understand, but I think new promise result success, right? Then on fulfilled, on rejected. We only worked with on fulfilled. Okay, the value that was the promise was fulfilled with. I can close you. I can minimize u. Okay, and it doesn't get that. What if in data quote, okay, it returns an empty object. What about now? Still returns an empty object. The moment we ask it to log, that's the thing. They're using require here. Constant sum JSON export default sum changes. Simplest approach is following: sum JSON, sum JSON. Config React cementing created from React create React I'm importing JSON just works by default. Import config from config.json. What this, well, that's for local files. What do we do for URLs? Maybe this can help me. Import from web in React. How to properly import a web component? Nope. How to use web components? How to import from import JSON, fetch JSON data from URL in React. Oh my god. Get JSON object data from an URL, but okay, I'm going to ignore that. The URL is the following type. Okay, it's a domain error right now. Which if time will display a JSON object. How do I load it to React.js? To start with, I started by constant DURL equals this console.log URL. Obviously displays the URL and not the content, which I will be able to filter. Just okay. Answer should be changed unless the answer is updated. Okay. Try using fetch API. It's recommended by Facebook. Okay. You should avoid mixing in jQuery with React.js and stick it to React.js way of manipulating the DOM. So this is a function. Return fetch, then response JSON, then response JSON equals to return response JSON dot movies. Acha. Catch an error, or using asynchronous functions. Await. Use fetch for making API calls. Fetch this example, response, then JSON.is passed, catch error. Right. So apparently logging to the console works. I don't know whether the URL solution would apply this for React.js as well. Return so instead of returning it, can we, I don't know, push it? Let's see. Chalo, this class thing can, okay, थोड़ा space देते तो समझ आ जाएगा. Very good. Okay, that's commented, so we can look into this. Right. Now I can remove this log. Okay, not the async function, sorry. Did you, what is this? How to import? Nope. Web component, no. So that's the function I want. Okay. Having the right answer and resource is nicer. Okay. Very good. So we have a function which needs some API async. quotes. Function quotes return fetch. Now instead of their link, we're going to paste our link. Cut. It's returning the whole thing, isn't it? I see. Okay. Right. This needs to be commented for now. Only for now. Right. Then response using there is no such thing as movies, unfortunately. What if I write quotes? Console में दिखना चाहिए, right? Wait, ये अभी नहीं दिखाएगा. We have to log it to the console. QoTs function call. Nothing is visible because there is an error. Quotes has already been declared, right? Oh yeah. Cool. Thank you. Right. Now it returns two promises. It returned two promises. A pending promise. This was fulfilled. Promise state fulfilled. Promise result array 102. It returns all the arrays. Think because we wrote quotes here. Very good. Very good. Finally. Okay. So this function call now has this. Fetch quotes. We will write fetch quotes. Now I can literally store that in a variable. Const. Nope, not a constant. Let quotes be an array. Now I wanted to push each and every object from that array or the entire thing. So instead of returning this, you write quotes dot push this. So if we ask it to print quotes only, it should return an object or errors. Very good. Quotes is not defined. It says let quotes this. कुछ तकलीफ है. Uncaught error. ये सब ठीक है. Let's read this. Refuse to load the script URL because it violates the security. Script source none. Note that a script source element was explicitly set to script source is used as a fallback. Right. After, okay, you know what? Clear console. I don't know whether we have an issue now that we finished it. Okay. So it will build the preview. Unrecognized feature web share. Very good. Command Z. I mean very good as in I don't know what it is, but okay. Now it returns an empty array. Of length this. See, this is the prototype anyway. Why are you not pushing it? Are we supposed to write return? I don't believe we are supposed to write return. Still returns an empty array. Maybe append then. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, if it's only love, baby, just me when I say. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Bing, bing. I would like to keep this fetch quotes. There is no such thing as code, so that's why it has an error. Now it will gladly return an array. How do we get it to only return the result? It returns an object called promise. I have a phone call, just a second. I'll be right back, guys. I have a phone call to attend, just a second. Anyway, that was a friend of mine on the phone. Not a problem. We can continue. I can see we have one viewer joining. Thank you for watching. Let's comment that for now. I don't need to look at the preview. I just hope that you can. I want an object to fetch. No, because fetch that and store it in an array. How is that so hard? क्या तकलीफ हुई है? कोई तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay. Let's save this code. अरे बाप रे, इसने उसको resize कर दिया. No, I commented all of it. अरे यार, मैं सेव करूँगा तो हाँ ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. वी वोंट कमेंट इट. बस हाँ ठीक है, बस resize please, thank you. Okay, fold it. Right, back to this. So if we do this, the console returns a promise object which has 3 keys and 3 values, and the third key from them is promise result. Okay, refresh please. I meant clear the console please. क्या है ये? हाँ, okay. So first चल भाई object return कर. क्यों रे? First time it will throw an error. The console, oh, it won't throw anything. Nice. Now it will run and it will show us in the console an object. भाई दिखा, गायब हो गया, क्या हो गया? What? So that happened. That's new. That is brand new information. I don't think that has ever happened. The console is now blank. Save this, refresh the page, please. Right. Autosave enabled. That is a question mark. Why did I click on a question mark? No, it's okay. Right. Okay. This thing returns a promise that's pending and returns an array which with those objects. You can see that author and quote prototype object. So it's called right. So then is a part of this promise thing. Is fetch fetch must be a part of this promise thing as well. So fetch dot then. Are they showing us what methods we can use? Name, then, arguments, exception type error. अबे दिखा. Caller, callee, and arguments properties may not be. अबे okay. Invoke getter. Right. But whatever it is, this is the prototype. Yeah, we don't need that. We need the result. The result is an array. Right. This function returns something to the console. Instead, I want it to be, I don't know, inside an array. Yeah, it's not I don't know, I do know. So I want this entire object as an array. I have to make it global. The function can't, well, it can declare. What if I do this? No. Sorry. That was a bad chain of thought. How do I contain? So then takes a callback function where it takes response as an argument, and then it returns response.json, which is this. Sorry, the content inside this, and then it takes an parameter called response JSON. We can call it anything. If I call it ABC or AB itself, it would still work. Don't believe me? Look here. It returns a promise still. Refresh, please. Clear console. Thank you. Right. So it doesn't matter what you call this, as long as it's the same. I mean, whatever, you can name the parameter whatever you like. That means response JSON is the object, and now we ask it to return quotes. That's the object. Now instead of returning it, I want to store it. It means push something. This would not return, this would still return the promise, but it would be undefined because instead I try to, why am I trying to do this again? Because I'm trying to think logically. If there were an error, it would simply log an error, not a problem. I don't much care about that. I do, however, care about this. Let's create a global variable. Variable q equals empty array. Simply push that to the array. Why can't you push an object? Of course, push is not defined, obviously. We have to write it this way. We have to write q dot push. So now okay, push is not defined. Is that the error? No. Okay, very good. So now this is undefined. If we ask it to print q to the console, what does q look like? Q returns an empty array, and that's just the prototype value. Right. How come you do not? चलो एक और चीज़ ट्राई करते हैं. Maybe we can leave this be. inside the function itself we write this. Okay. Did return an array. Wait a minute, oh, this is Q right now. Does Q, oh my god, it still returns an empty array, array 0. Bro. Yeah, of course it's not response JSON anymore. Wait a minute. We can do something else. Push this. Oh my god. Devious, very devious indeed. We write q dot push. Hopefully that works. Hopefully. Unexpected token expected a comma 15th 6th value. think क्यों सिंटैक्स में तकलीफ है. What is this? अच्छा वो इसके लिए सेमीकोलन चाहिए नहीं चाहिए, it's okay. That's for the push and this for this. She returns, it returned empty arrays all the way. क्यों यार. क्योंकि फंक्शन को कॉल नहीं किया. What if we call the function? Wait, can we I forgot. Currying, it's called currying, where you self call a function. So that's for objects. But we want some functions to just call themselves, just like this one. Right, for now we can simply call it fetch QUOTS this. Bas kar diya. So first it will call that function and then that call function will return a promise. I see. Is this the array or is this, what is that? Wait a minute, wait. None of these. Okay. अब इसको थोड़ा ब्यूटीफाई करना पड़ेगा. Q's first item then 0th item. Is that an error? Returns promise entire array. Right, no. Okay. That doesn't return anything. Why? Response.json.quotes. That the value of that itself is the array. ऐसा करूँ तो, अरे बाप रे, नो ऐसा करूँ तो I need to clear the console. Show me the output again, please. Okay. Process build, very good. Anet recognize. Now it returns an object. iframe console or whatever. This is the prototype, this is the promise state. You can ignore these two basically. It returns an array. Very good. If we were to look at our console right here, we would feel much better. Bapre. Sheet. Because it returns an object called a promise. Oh, come on. यहाँ पे तो पूरा खाली है नहीं. So data is coming. We just don't know how to write. It is fulfilled. Promise state. I mean, I can see the array right here. the only way, Steve Jobs, whatever. You can see that it has the object quote and author end quote literally. In each object stores these values. But now none of it's getting printed. इसको मैं हटा दूँ तो क्या करेगा? चलो comment this out. Let's see. What does it do? Returns nothing. Very good. So this log is printing everything. Now it returns a pending promise. We fulfilled the array with each item but not the what if promise result. Promise object has three things. 11. What does the console say? It says object promise. Object promise string. I'm working on React Next.js semantic UI React Solidity. Okay. You can convert your to await the function call or explicitly use the then and a callback function. Right, we are using that. So sorry. Someone was working on Ethereum back there. I wonder what they're up to now. It has a length. Okay, you know what? At least print its length. Q dot length. It returns an undefined 1. It returns 1. That means it's returning the object, the entire object. So, yeah. Because Q is an array and Q stores that, holds that object. I get it. We don't only want the objects, we want the quotes. Q.length can go away. Refuse to load the script here because it's okay. What if I write this promise result? Is that even allowed? It says undefined, so that's not allowed. What can we use? इसका prototype दिखा. अबे interesting. Print Q please. Right. So we have prototype values for this array. Add, concat, constructor, whatever. Nope. Promise object. So Q holds inside it a promise object. Now we are inside the promise object. Now it doesn't return these values. Okay, wait a minute. 0 space promise. पहले क्या था? Pending वाला ये है और ये हमारा ये है. But it's a 0 fulfilled array 102. So that means at the 0th value, it has an array with 102 values. Its length is 1. That's why when we wrote dot length, it returned 1. Now when I wrote Q0, it returns promise. So that's the prototype. That's the prototype of the object. We want to see the promise result. Do I write 3? Let's see. 3. that returns undefined. So not 3, 2, 0, 1, 2, so 3. That also returns undefined, so we are in the wrong direction. How do we get it to only print? What if we were to do this? तकलीफ आती है उसको, ये गायब हो गया. ओके, रिटर्न अनडिफाइंड. चलो सिर्फ क्यू रखते हैं. Returns this an object with quotes. Very good. Right. What do you return? You return an object array with the object promise. Now if you're making a global variable, instead what I would suggest is variable q equals this thing. I mean it's the same thing, but okay. Unfold. Despite the fact I made it a global variable, still interesting. Okay. So that's not allowed. Dot quotes. Okay, select a list of objects inside an object. Quotes dot quote wouldn't return anything because those quotes stores this as the only return this much. Okay, my target is to only return a list of objects. अरे बाप रे, अरे वो अरे खुलेगा भी नहीं. Clear console. What is the error now? Oh, dot. Yeah, okay. Show me. Right. Okay. Show me the money. Of course. Promise this. Yeah, so the prototype values promise result. Okay. So are we staring? No, this says why does it return an empty object then? Why? Okay, कोट्स के अंदर ये लिख देते हैं. कोट्स में 0th वैल्यू. अबे बाप रे, 0. इसको हटाओ, रखते हैं ना. ओके. Returns an object Kevin Cruz. Finally, that must be the first line. Unfortunately not finally, because in this thing's console it still returns that. Come on bro. Wait, does this mean I can print this? Copy and paste. Q is not defined. Nope, that's not how it works. Okay, I would have to call Hello, hi, hello, you are creators. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I do say come on, bruh, a lot of time. Yeah, bruh. Who is you are creators? Do you have a channel or something? Go to channel. You do have a channel. You are creators. Hello, you are creators. Thank you for joining. Are you well versed with? I don't know. Check it out, bro. I will check your channel out, guys. Yeah, whoever's watching, they should and must also check out creators' channel, and of course, like subscribe to my channel and their channel as well. Okay, now back to this. Okay, right. So इसको हटाएंगे. Right. Now what does Q return? It returns an object. I don't know if you have 3 properties or what. Okay, but this says object array, object promise. Right. This object stores exactly one thing. So कोट्स के अंदर की जो array उसकी 0th value उसने निकाल दी. So we got what we were looking for. Now, right, but we actually didn't get what we are looking for because I only want to store these values. Okay, I'm confused because of this. हम क्या करते हैं? Simple मैं सिर्फ ABCD लिखता हूँ. Sorry, 1 comma space 2 comma space 3 comma space 4, right? Okay. So it returns an array with 1 2 3 4 and literally a thing called promise. Okay, much better. So this object itself is literally called promise. Okay, इसने दिखाया 1 2 3 4 and then you can see this is commented object promise. Okay, much better to understand now that I'm slowly getting it. A prototype की तो ठीक है. Prototype is defining this thing itself. Don't believe me, don't, it's okay. Right. फिर क्या? फिर so are you an object? Right, this tells me that this is an array. Very good. With a length of 5. तो ये देख के मुझे पता चल रहा है कि जो हम लोग जो देख रहे हैं, I mean you can also look at this. Basically what we are looking at, this thing is an array. So that's what a prototype is there for. Nice. Now we go to the 4th value in the array and we open it. Right. Now that we've opened it, we can see prototype promise. So prototype array, prototype promise. Cool. We can ignore this. This would list all the functions that are possible to use with this. Very good. So we can ignore that. Then it has something called promise state which has been fulfilled. Cool. And then we have something called promise result. I want to target you. Why can't I? Because of JSON. Do you want me to remove this line? इससे क्या करेगा ये? It still returns a promise object, but now it's undefined. The result of that thing is undefined, so it doesn't return. Okay, कुछ भी करो ये ऑब्जेक्ट रिटर्न करता है, but that's okay. We are looking for objects when we can map them easily. Objects are easier to map anyway. I don't mind. ये भी कर सकते हैं ना. Variable q is equal to. I love that. And got error. Push is defined, not defined, of course. Okay. So now Q literally holds the promise object. It returned the word promise, but it's actually an object, but you guys get it, right? So that's the first property. Arre baapre. Am I to assume that that is the first property? Okay. So in the log, only print the first property then. Uncaught error. Prototype is not defined. Very good. Dot. Yeah, the way we wrote typed this is not correct. Maybe clear console, please. Now if I remove the dot, it will return the error, of course. You'll see this immediately. We should see this in the console. Apparently we can't. We don't see it. Dot. Error दिखाओ या फिर कुछ return करो. It's not returning anything. What if I do this? Right. Unrecognized feature web share, uncaught reference error. Very good. Now let's wrap this again in 2 dots. Very good. Prototype is not defined. Very good. Or if I were to remove the dot, should there be another error? There is nothing. It literally returns nothing. Okay. Now this. We're using bracket notation, square bracket notation. Right, it still says prototype not defined. Now if I do this, it returns an undefined object. Okay. RESULT, prototype result now. SULT. alt कुछ जैसा होता नहीं है. Okay. This thing returns an object where promise result returns an array. How do we get to access only that? Bapre. Did I move that too much? Okay. Nope, I didn't. Say. Maybe I can keep the camera a little bit more over here. Oh, very cool. Okay, back. Nice. Right. I don't believe that I'm stuck with this. I can't believe it. I thought, yeah, we thought. Right, it. So whatever we are supposed to do, we're supposed to do with this. Right. Oh, that's so bad. Nope. So response.json. Maybe if I understand what this .json function does in JavaScript, please. JavaScript JSON is a format. Okay. अरे यार ये फंक्शन कॉल चाहिए था मुझे, ऑब्जेक्ट का मीनिंग नहीं चाहिए क्या यार. JSON method. Promise. It's a promise that resolves to a JavaScript object. The promise order represents the eventual completion of an asynchronous operation and its resulting value. Promise fulfill, but then on fulfillment async actions return promise then catch. We don't want to error handling, right? Okay. New promise resolve after this that. Right. promise. In our fetch JSON example, क्या लिखा है? This is their products.json file. Very good. Okay, you guys can't see that, can you? Okay, in their GitHub project they have this thing that was their products.json file. Now they have their index file which has some body elements and they have a script element, query selector UL. I wouldn't know what that means, right? Fetch products.json. Now we use an HTTPS file. Okay, then response. If response is not okay, then error, HTTP error. ओके, फेच के अंदर सब फेच के अंदर चल रहा है. ये URL उसके डाला, उसके बाद उसने देन रिस्पॉन्स किया, response.json. Then you go to the data. Now you run a for loop. Constant product of data dot products. What does that mean? Let's keep that in here to products.json. What does this say? It says, okay, then data for loop constant product of data dot products. So data dot products, that means each item from data dot products. Okay, constant list item document create element list, constant name element document create element strong. अरे बाप रे, name element not, ओहो सही है, text content context सही है. Okay, but yeah, we don't need that, right? So for each item ये क्या करेगा, list item में store करेगा document dot create element list. एक सेकेंड, नहीं, अच्छा, list item literally a list item for HTML. Then strong, so name element dot text content. Where is all this coming from? Where is text content? Name element, where is name element card text content. So basically if you were to write a dot here, it would say, yeah, dot product dot name, product of data products, product dot name. So this stores a value. Okay, so that's a name element. And list item is document dot create element li. What does this mean? This is not even related to that. Li, append name element first, then text can be found in this which says product dot location, which is this. No, that's not that. Okay, what is product location? Product dot location, it has name, price and location. Acha, so name element stores what in strong. अच्छा, document और create element. So strong के अंदर text content डाल रहा है product name. अच्छा, इसका आउटपुट देख पाएंगे ना हम लोग यहाँ पे, right? So that's strong. Okay, can be found in refrigerated foods. कहाँ गया? Can be found in whatever foods. So refrigerated foods is the first value. Okay, fetch JSON example. Literally fetching it, aren't we? If I can fetch at least this much, I would be very happy. Right. इन्होंने कैसे लिखा है? Then के अंदर data. That means they didn't play with that promise or whatever. They simply went through with it. So I'm simply giving myself a headache for no reason. Then am I? आ रहा है? यहाँ पे क्या दिखाता है? What if we do this? 0th value. Show me the 0th value, please. Right, it returns undefined. It returns undefined there as well. Right. it still returns an empty object according to this apps console. In here it returns author and quote. What does that mean? Because if I write here AUTHOR won't return anything. This thing, it returns undefined. How do I access this thing? Do I write q.promise.author? Exactly, uncaught. Type error, cannot read type properties of undefined reading. Object load. What if I write promise dot object dot author? चलो ये ट्राई करते हैं. Another uncaught error. अभी इसको तकलीफ आ रही है. Object. Well, promise is in itself an object. Let's write object dot author. Uncaught error, cannot read properties of undefined author. चलो ठीक है. सिर्फ object return करो. Undefined. Okay. What if oh yeah, that's not quite an issue. Let's think, how is this structured? वही तो नहीं समझ आ रहा ना यार, कैसे स्ट्रक्चर किया गया. तो समझ आता है तो कर लेते ना. Tried using dot notation. Maybe we can use bracket notation. Returns undefined. Why? क्या यार? Literally a big headache. Dum 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 dum. Funny message, and you know what, I can't do that. I have to give you my complete and undivided attention, so let's do that. Let's read the docs once more, or you know what, let's go crazy and write the code the way they've written it. Fine, chalo. It says then and then data, right? So they use response JSON. I can call it data too. Doesn't matter if I write data dot quotes here, it would still return undefined. Yeah, exactly. Back to you. Let's study your structure again. So first things first, it return, okay, then response and then return response.json. Okay. Do you return response.json? It doesn't need to. But you know what, yeah, let's wrap this in an object and we write return that. Okay. Now we have to go, I think, one step deeper. right, that returns an there's an error with our code, unexpected token at 9th character. Let's try. Okay, then ये space, यहाँ पे space, right? What is the error? Now it should not be the 9th character, it will be some other character. Oh, 9th line and 25th character. Fine, चलो गिनते हैं. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. Right, why? Because this is an arrow function, so we don't really need to write the keyword return here. Okay. Cannot read properties of undefined reading quotes, because I know why. दिखाता हूँ. अरे बाप रे. It returns undefined. I mean, it's all because of this thing, this little thing called curly brace. Which kind of, okay, it still returns undefined. And of course of this object. But before, right, it returns a promise again. If I were to cover this piece of code in braces, it would return a type error, which it would not understand quotes, because now an object holds quotes. So to get inside that object, we would, I don't know what I would have to do. छोड़ना बहुत दिमाग फाड़ नाखियो. Okay, right, back to you. इनके जैसा ही करके दे तो चलो. Okay, first fetch this URL. Okay, then literally then response. if हमें लिखना नहीं है, return response JSON. Very good. तो हमने return response JSON कर दिया. Now that return statement is inside an object, which is so confusing, and I'm going to let it be. If statement की वजह से लिखा होगा, that's what I'm going to assume. Let it be. Okay, so we have this response JSON with us. Now we go to then and then data. इसको बंद करते हैं. Yeah, I will use this for reference to understand. इसको भी काम है. Okay, let's copy. Let's move this tab here. Very good. We can jump easily. If we had Firefox with us, it would get easier actually. Firefox works differently, but बाद में. I can install Firefox for you guys so that I can stream on Chrome and use Firefox, the best browser to ever exist. Literally Firefox वाले ही हमारे लिए सब docs लिख के देते हैं. Literally this is Mozilla's website, and they've defined these things officially so well. So yeah, I don't have any complaints. Right, response JSON method दो बार है. This is the random quote machine, of course. Yeah, back to this. Right, so not you, this. Okay, so instead of return data.quotes, we are going to do a full scale attack. Okay, it says then and then data, and then this arrow function begins that lasts till this. I think, let's think. ये curly brace open हुआ, फिर ये curly brace जाके end हुआ यहाँ पे. That means it ends here. Okay, sorry, it ends just below this. So that's the line of code. Now इन्होंने जैसे भी किया, we have a mile list that has a UL. वही हम लोग तो UL कुछ करने वाले हैं नहीं. UL we can leave that be. List elements can also be left for now. What does this do? It appends, right? What do you do, by the way? इसको सबको मैं comment कर दूँ. show me q equals this. Uncaught error, fetch quotes is not defined. हाँ ठीक है, इसको भी comment करते हैं बस. Null. Right. I don't believe it should return null. I'm sure it returns something else, but I don't know what. If response is okay, I'm going to ignore that. To my peril, probably. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Very good. Right. Okay. Anyway, how do I store it as? क्या यार? Then I can't store Q as this. We simply fetch stuff. Fetch ports can go. Q will return an empty array. It will return undefined, because it's not been initialized. It will return yeah. Okay, back to this. Right. So we have a constant called myList. Then you do this. Okay, let's get back to you. Right, where do you end? I think here. Let's understand. We have then, so this parenthesis open, open, close, then open, close, then open, close again, this, that, and that, and this, and that, and that, and right. I think this, the parenthesis open here, close here. So that's the entire data function. But wait, the curly braces didn't end. That means this parenthesis is only for that, so we can leave that. Right. The entire function works till here. Right. A for loop that closes here and then the function closes it here. चलो इतना उठाते हैं, करते हैं काम. सोच के ही करना पड़ेगा सब वैसे भी. So instead of then data, return data quotes, now you're going to get a world of enjoyment. Paste. Very good. Now there will be a multitude of errors. Data.products is not iterable, obviously, because there is no such thing as data.products. We have data.quotes. Okay, I'm going to refer to the right. R JSON is not open. Q by copy and paste. Right, that's their fetch JSON. This is our code. So if you look closely, a curly brace opens. Then we have this object called quotes, this object called products. Inside this is an array. There's an array, literally this much. This will be quite long, but the array ends right about here. Cool. That means products holds these objects, right? Cool. No wonder we need a for loop. We have to iterate through each of them, don't we? Okay. I mean, now I get it. Thank you, W3 schools, and this person, whoever they are. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that. Okay, so now this kind of makes sense. But instead of data.products, we write what? We write, let's go through equivalence. This is products, this is quotes. So we should write data.quotes. So for product of data.quotes, actually not quotes, it's called this what? Line, no, we have object, we have author and quote, but it's called quotes. What when can we do? QUOTES. So for constant quotes of data.quotes, first you create a constant called list item, where it says document.createElement.list. I'm not sure what purpose you serve, but I'm going to leave you be for now. If I'm going that way, then we better do a few things. Just a second. As well. Okay. दिमाग ठीक है. Right now it still returns null क्योंकि ये null निकलो. अभी console का कोई काम नहीं है. By console will log you when we need to. Okay, let's give it some spacing. Very nice. Right, then response JSON, very good. That kind of worked. Now data इसका ठीक है. For loop for constant quotes of data.quotes, then list item document.create element by id. Now name element document.create element strong, text content product.name, price element. अच्छा एक एक करके. Wait. Basically we change this to name की जगह लिख देते हैं QUOTE author. अरे बाप रे. Of course, product is not defined. It's still looking for product somewhere. This should become product quotes. अरे बाप रे. There is no such thing as location. Fine. सिर्फ इतना प्रिंट कर चल. My list append child. Okay. Q.append child. Now is there any mention of my list in? Okay, we'll see. Just cannot read properties of null reading append child. HTML DOM element append child. Append child alternative in React. Append is a convenient alternative to append child. Simply append will also work. Fine. Okay, let's log the result. Q. Oh, it still doesn't understand properties of null append. Come on, push. Now, yeah, that won't work because this is a property. Yeah, they're not the same property. You can't push that stuff. Yeah, we need to play with this then. List item, what is the list item? li ul and list item, हमें ये नहीं चाहिए. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. ये भी नहीं चाहिए. Wait. Nope. For loop से क्या यार? Also copies that, doesn't it? Quotes dot quote सब निकलेगा. अरे बाप रे. Get out. Okay. Simple line. Right. List item doesn't exist anymore. Name element, price element, and none of them exist anymore. List item doesn't exist. It still returns an empty object array. So funny. What do you mean? Right. That is so funny. Look at me laugh. I'm laughing. That is hilarious. It returns in the console. You guys can't see it, can you? Just a second, मैं बंद कर देता हूँ. Overlays are closed. Interesting. Okay. That is so funny. Look at me laugh. Look at this smile on my face. This returns an empty object array, and yet this object array stores all the audacity. Do you store values or not? It returns an object array. It returns an object called array. बस सही है. Clear console, please. Yeah. What do you mean? Okay. This is the funniest thing to ever happen. Q equals. वो तो promise run करेगा. ठीक है. So we're not supposed to do that. I get it. Okay. Tell him. Wait a minute. Okay, I might have an idea. Bar nickel. Right. We write QUOTE and author, which stores the author value. Right. Now it still returns an empty object array, but that returns a quote and a value. Does that mean? Wait a minute. Interesting. Okay. Why are they not stored inside you, man? Come on. It's so simple. If I write 1, 2, 3, and 4, it would gladly return that inside this array. You can see that it's doing that. And yet, the third value of this third item is an object. Is that why it's empty? Okay. Alright, I'm going to go crazy and write here 3. Show me the third value. It returns undefined. So uncanny. That is so uncanny. But in this console it does return these values. So what are we to know? What are we to assume? What are we to say? How do we access these values? It returns undefined now. सही है. Because there is no third value. Then what do you mean by this length? ठीक है, चलो. We write log q.length. Show me the length in the console. It returns 0. So that tells me the length of this is actually 0. But wait. This says 105. So where is it storing these values? Can anyone care to explain? Okay. चलो कुछ और दिमाग तोड़ते हैं. So instead of q.push, let's make q an object in itself. चलो. Yeah. Okay. Uncaught type error, reading length. सही है. ठीक है. मत length दिखा. ठीक है. q. Type errors. It returns an undefined thing. Oh yeah, I get it. I get why. We're not appending data this way. Okay. I mean, doing it would still be the same. Yeah, I know it's not a function. Chill, bro. q.append. Is append allowed? Append is not allowed because it is not a string. If it were an empty string, then appending it would be still not be allowed. Still not allowed. Okay. Q. Q तो भूल जाओ. Q तो पता ही नहीं दे नहीं रहा. Says append is not a function. We can't append it to. What can I append it to, my friend? Right, but we cannot append an object to a string, can we? Neither can we append an fine. ठीक है, चलो. We use the good old. Oh no! Save this code, please. Refresh this page, please. I know you guys don't understand what I'm doing, but trust me. q.push. Now it will still return. Right, it returns undefined now. That's new. With each for loop, the value of q becomes an empty array. Yeah, we don't want that. That's why we need a global variable. And we are back to where we started. Yay! What is this then? What are these values inside this array? Okay. Object array. What is an object array? JavaScript array of objects. What is an object array? Arrays are data structures. Okay. Array.push, splice, insert, add. So we have this object and it stores these values. Very good. Creating an array of objects. Cars equal these, right? Okay. Right. I don't mind if you are an array of objects or you're something else. Whatever you are, Just be inside the array, please. I beg you. I beg you. Okay. SPLIC. Nope. Splice won't work. I can't believe this is the most difficult part. I think because we are working with something that we do not understand completely or even 1% of. Yeah. Bang on. What next? Okay. Okay, let me go crazy and do this. No, not that. This. We write Q equals an array. What am I even writing? What am I even writing? Now it returns an object, and inside that object is an array with length 0. Do not be fooled by this trickery, the 0th value and the first value. It only holds one value. Pyong, 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 pyong. Do not believe me. I will make you believe me. It will return undefined or some error. It didn't even return anything. Wow. So please clear the console. Thank you. Right. I asked it to print the first value. It did nothing. Please return an error. Please. No errors. Okay. Bro, come on. Okay. Right, there's an error. Why? Unexpected token 10th character. Are you the 10th character? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, the 10th character feels unusual. I can guess why. And now push will be invalid. Anedo? Nahi? Yeah. Push is not a function. Exactly. Push can never be a function now. Returns undefined. We understand why. Right, now it won't return. It still returns undefined. Oh, I get it. I get why. Because there is no such value as the first value of Q. There is only the 0th value. If I write 0 right now, it would simply return an object. This, however, okay, that's new. Right. And this also stores prototype object, only the 0th value. And there is no such thing as the values outside the 0th value. But Q does somehow store these values. What is this? How do I access data outside the data? What have I brought about? इसको अगर मैं ये करता हूँ, it doesn't matter actually if I do it or not. right? This is object array 1. If you keep your eyes on the number 1, if I were to remove this for only one thing, now it would say object array bracket 0 and it would return 2 square brackets. That means the length of this is 0, and yet if I look at the Google Chrome console, it returns this, these quotes and their authors, and I was so happy that we were close. Zig Ziglar, people often, right? So this thing kind of worked. Now we need to understand how to actually push data. What if I unshift? You know what? Yeah, let's go crazy and unshift data. Unshift is going in the other direction, right? It returns an empty object array. Okay, right. What if I try to access a quote? QUOTE. Obviously it won't work because there are several of them, so it will return undefined. Obviously that's not a problem. I can't even reach the first or the second object. What notation do I use so that I can push these values or unshift them, whatever, or not store all the values? This is so much better than promise, but we haven't reached what we are looking for yet. Right, what do you do? Append item. Okay, so you're not pushing them directly. Okay. Right. चलो ये सोचते हैं. So not push them directly. Let ABC be these guys. I mean, yeah, it's literally, yeah, we're not doing something that's better. I get what this does, but I don't know if we write it this way, if that works. I'm all for it. Nope. If you see it, it still returns empty, returns an empty object. दिखाता हूँ. खाली करो. Refresh it. Very good. Now it will return an object that still has those values. Okay, but this is right. A list item dot append. Inside append we write name element, whatever the name element is, comma space, can be found in. Okay, they're literally printing it to HTML, aren't they? Acha. So that means if I were to go to get element ID nahi rakha na, it would return so many errors. चलो देखते हैं. Copy, comment. There is no such thing as Q, so bye. Q is chill. Right, this is still visible. So show me the HTML file, please. Right. पूरा हम फोड़ देंगे इसको तो. Obviously needs a lot of homework before we do it. ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते, sorry. Right. However, the console still returns an object array. We can see object array, so this does in fact hold inside it an array. Actually not an array but an array of objects. क्या लॉजिक यूज़ किया जो हम यहाँ यूज़ कर सकते हैं? This is my list dot append child list item, which is this list item. What is list item? It's this li. So append name element, this text, and then price element, and then you append each sentence to this ul. Right. What do you do in here? Inside the body element, after the body element ends, you write the script. सही है. And then the HTML ends. Okay. Right. What logic are you using? Let's try to think. I don't see any logic. Literally says data. Data कहाँ पर है? Oh yeah, for loop constant data dot products. Right. Wait. Quote. का quote. Yeah. Of course, it would return an object array, but are you intact? It returns an object now. Oh my god, we're back to this, aren't we? Length of this, but still 0. How does that even work? Prototype array, length 102, and yet we have this constant ABC. You know, not chalo ABC. I can't just take it anymore. ABC PQR. God, are we back to grade 1? Yes, we are. ABC dot quote, ABC dot author. Now that returns an empty array, yet it stores objects. What are you? An empty object array. How to declare an empty array in JavaScript? How to create an empty object in JavaScript with this new object? Okay. There are two different ways to create an empty object in JavaScript. Right, we have an object A and new object. Okay. छोड़ ये करते variable my object which stores these. Okay. For defining empty objects, they're technically the same. The dash short is neutral and allows you to instantly populate the object in line like so. For arrays, there's similarly almost no benefit to ever using new array over this. Acha. New array 100 creates 100 item long array with all slots containing undefined, which may be nice, useful in certain situations, as in new array 9.join na plus Batman. Batman. How did Batman end up here? Never use new object. Okay, always when you need to quickly create an empty array with a predefined length. Okay, so people use this. We have an empty array with a predefined length. We inadvertently created it, and now I just want it to go away. ये सही है यार. An empty array with 102 values. Imagine that. Variable array, new array. Yeah, these are all the simpler methods. Okay. Create empty object with properties. Create empty array with properties. Array object with properties. Array. Right. We know how to declare, how to create an empty array of objects in JavaScript. How to initialize an array of objects. Okay. Initialize an array of objects using fill. Use the array constructor to create an array of n empty elements. Use array.fill method to fill the array with undefined values. Use the map method to fill the array with objects. Okay, we've done all of that. Chalo, let's assume we've done all of that. Array, okay, एक एक करके जाते हैं. New array. So new object, new instance of an array with 2 values. Fill, map each of them with key value. Cool. Done? Unfortunately, not done. Ours still returns an empty array. You can see their output. अरे तुम लोग को दिखेगा नहीं. Sorry. Right. Ours returns objects inside the array. Okay. How do I access those values? It's not undefined. These values are something. Okay, I'm going to do something else. That's not called doing something else. It won't return anything. Still doesn't return anything. Wait, PQR is an object. Now there is an object called PQR. We're pushing that object PQR. How are we any different? Oh god, no. Yeah, so welcome to the live video where I waste you guys' time and my own time. क्या 2 घंटे से मैं इस पे चिपका हूँ. I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to, spend more time giving myself a headache over this. Okay, तब तक मैं इसको सेव कर देता हूँ. I'll be back. Thanks. Hello guys, I'm back, and it seems that this thing do want to spend time on trying to understand it, but I'm going to take a break from this coding part. When I come back tomorrow, we'll try to figure this project out. We've spent 3 days already trying to do this. I want to spend another day behind this. We'll uh, look into some more options, some other ways of figuring this out. Until then, thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and I will see you guys again in the next live video. Now, in the next live video, actually, I will be live in a couple of minutes again, where you will be able to watch me read a book. It's called, it's actually, I'm going to try and finish the book Heart of Darkness. Well, not try and finish, I will finish the book. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but in the next live video, maybe in 5 or 10 minutes, you will see me live again. Not with the code, only with the book. So thank you for watching, and for the code part, you will be able to see me tomorrow again at 10 o'clock. Anytime after 10, I will be live. Thank you.